Jewish Y-DNA branch, AB-220 introduction. This is a member from the Farhi Sephardic line with matches in Lebanon and Syria. CEG Farhi FTDNA project. This branch is in the T group of Jewish branches. This branch is a member of the Sephardic branches, STR and SNP characteristics, TZ710-TL906-Y full, TY4984, T-BY190123, STR data collection of AB220 size of the branch data references, share links between major Sephardim families of the Ottoman Empire. From Les Fleurs de l'Orient, genealogy database, http www.farhi.org, we have identified pairs of males who might be descendants of Jews from Spain and gathered their DNA. These descendants shared a surname and belonged to different branches of their surname tree. The DNA tests have identified linkage, if any, between members of different branches and the region of ethnic origin of their probable common ancestor. The Farhi Bible. I first became aware of the Sassoons when hearing of them being referred to as the Rothschilds of the East. I was made familiar with the Farhi when one of the matches in Peter Landin Terminal SNP was with the Jewish Farhis, and how the Farhi Bible was purchased by the Sassoon family that was collecting Judaica. Why Haplogroup T is found at a high frequency of about 23% amongst Baghdadi Jews, which we do have Sassoons with Haplogroup T-M70, and I have covered this previously and fairly recently. The Farhi Bible was written by Elisha Crescas in Provence between 1366 and 1383. It was in the possession of Haim Farhi up to his death in 1818. After Haim's execution, it came into the possession of the British Consul in Damascus and was only returned to the family a century later. It remained a contested item of Haim's estate inheritance between Haim's brothers and nephews. The religious courts of Palestine were busy for decades. The Bible was purchased by the Sasson family at the beginning of the 20th century. It was sold to David Sassoon of the main Sassoon family from Baghdad, India, China, and eventually London. It is kept in a bank vault in Switzerland. The book titled Beit Farhi and the Sephardic Palaces of Ottoman Damascus in the late 18th and 19th centuries by Elizabeth Macaulay Lewis dived into one of the largest and most important palatial houses of late 18th and early 19th century Damascus, belonged to the Farhi family, who served as financial administrators to successive Ottoman governors in Damascus and Acre. The conversion of Beit Farhi to a hotel provided a unique opportunity to make a detailed examination of its architecture, which is comparable to those of affluent Christians and Muslims, and decorated with high-quality materials in the latest styles. Beit Farhi's outstanding architecture and decoration is documented and presented in this first comprehensive analysis of it and Damascus's other prominent Sephardic mansions, Matkab Anbar, Beit Dahda, Beit Stambuli, and Beit Lisbona. The Hebrew poetic inscriptions in these residences reveal how the Farhis and other leading Sephardic families perceived themselves and how they presented themselves to their own community and other Damascenes. A history of the Farhis and the Jews of Damascus provides the context for these houses, along with the architectural development of the monumental Damascene courtyard house. Lavishly illustrated with extensive color photographs, plans, and reconstruction drawings, the book brings to life the home environment of the lost elite Sephardic community of Ottoman Damascus. It will be an essential resource for those studying the architecture, history, and culture of Syria and the Ottoman Empire. Co-published with Manor al-Athar, University of Oxford. Damascus is a treasure trove of Ottoman domestic architecture. The old city preserves no greater example than the grand three-courtyard house of the prominent Jewish banker, Farhi al-Muallim. Elizabeth Macaulay Lewis has done much more than accurately document and describe this marvel. recently restored to shine again in its original splendor. She provides us with a picture of the house in its context, even tracing back to the city's Roman phase. Her narrative explores how life for a Jewish family in late 18th century Damascus existed in an environment far removed from today's dysfunctional confessional divisions, and where a Jewish family could grace the house with equally prominent references to its Jewish and Arab associations. The book is meticulously illustrated with plans and photographs, bringing out every detail of the restoration process. It shows the house as it exists today, with its stunning palette of colors which previously only the English painter Frederick Leighton could adequately convey. Professor Ross Burns, Macquarie University, Sydney, author of Damascus, A History, Monuments of Syria, Aleppo. A History Results, Common Ancestry. The Y-DNA tests identifying the possible link between people of the same surname have shown the following links between the participants. Name, country. Related comments. Al-Hadef, Greece, 2. Yes, Ansarut, Syria, 3. No 2, related to each other. 1, unrelated Aru, Turkey, 1. To Farhi, Syria, Bekor, Iraq, 2. Yes, Kapuya, Turkey, 1. Waiting for another Kapuya, Cavaliero, Turkey, 3. Yes, Chipret, 1. Chitayat, Iraq, 2. No Kodron, 1. Constantini, Italy, 2. No Dawek, Syria, 2. Yes, also to Modiano. Following are some comments on these family relationships, and search for their most recent common ancestor, MRCA. Al-Hadef, Bekor, Dowek, Lisbona, Modiano, Suru John, Russo, Cavaliero, Marzouk, and Taranto. Descendants of these families are indeed related to each other. The Modiano and Dwek families also have shown a probable common ancestor, Ansarut. From the 3 Ansarut, 2 are related and 1 turned out to be unrelated, Aru. The Aru case was brought into our study because of a perfect match with the Farhis of Syria. Kapoya. The DNA test on another Kapoya has not been received yet. When processed, we may find out if the 2 Kapoya are related. Chitayat. The 2 Chitayat turned out to be unrelated. Constantini. The 2 Constantini turned out to be unrelated. One had a Western European haplogroup and the other had a Middle Eastern one. Gubay, Syria, Iraq. The 2 Gubay turned out to be unrelated, Harlow. Harlow joined our study because his DNA was from the Middle East. His biological father was indeed from Persia. In conclusion, we may need to add descendants of families whose ancestors are positively known to come from Spain, either because of their name or documents that prove that their ancestors lived in Spain. One major question remains: did the ancestors of those with Middle Eastern haplogroups really migrate to Spain in the first millennium and then emigrate to the Ottoman Empire after the Spanish Inquisition, or were they living in the Middle East all the time? Our data remains to be analyzed by the researchers from Haifa University and the University of Arizona and used in context of their larger database.